Indonesia, the next superpower. Indonesia is predicted to become a superpower in the coming 2045 by many groups. According to West Java Governor Ridwan Kamil, this could be realized through the involvement of millennials who want this country to advance. There are several conditions so that Indonesia's 2045 can be realized. Ridwan Kamil said, besides the stability of economic growth which must reach 5%, Indonesia must also have competitive HR or millennials. In addition, peaceful and conducive democracy also needs to be maintained despite different choices in democracy. The requirements of superpowers. Your duty is to protect our economy by 5% until 2045. One of them is the digital economy, said Emil, Ridwan Kamil's nickname, when speaking at the Indonesia Millennial Summit 2019 at the Grand Ballroom Hotel Indonesia Kempinski, Jakarta. Saturday, January 19, 19. The second condition is that our 2045 millennial superpower must be competitive. Because we will experience a bonus demographic. The young people will be very much from the population pyramid, he continued. Furthermore, Emil said that the competitive millennial requirements were productive and not a burden to the country. Millennials must also be intelligent. Foreign language skills, especially English, must be qualified, equipped with digital skills or abilities. I give a message: this millennial must be competitive with its skills so that the future can be achieved quickly and can help Indonesia, he ordered. On this occasion, in the presence of millennials, Emil also advised that they be directly involved in solving Indonesia's problems. According to him, this country needs to be helped because it has many problems. Indonesia needs help. Their country is cool but a lot of problems too. So, my term is not cool for yourself. Use the coolness to help the Indonesian people, Emil asked. Using its digital skills, its skill network, the skills of social media are not only for ourselves but for the community. If this is practiced, I think Indonesia will jump, he was optimistic. According to IDN Research Institute data, the Indonesian millennial population reaches 24% of the total number of people, or around 63.4 million people. There are two categories of millennial inhabitants, namely millennial juniors aged 20 to 27 years, born 1991 to 1998, and senior millennials 28 to 35 years old, born 1983 to 1990. As reported, Indonesia maintains strong economic growth in 2017 and the outlook continues to be positive, according to the World Bank's March 2018 Indonesia Economic Quarterly. Indonesia's real GDP growth picked up to 5.2% year-on-year in the fourth quarter of 2017 from 5.1% in the previous quarter. For 2017, the country's GDP growth rose to 5.1% from 5.0% in 2016, its highest growth rate in 4 years. Faster growth in 2017 was due to stronger investments and net exports, lifted by improved global trade, and the continued recovery in commodity prices. Public investments also supported growth, with total government spending growing the fastest in 3 years. Sound macroeconomic policies have contributed to investment growth reaching a 5-year high, said Rodrigo A. Chavez, World Bank Country Director for Indonesia and Timor-Leste. But to meaningfully accelerate investments outside the mining sector, Indonesia needs to consider putting together a bold and impactful mixture of policies that will open the economy. The country's real GDP growth is projected at 5.3% in 2018. However, the forecast face risks if global trade slows along with growth of domestic private consumption, which constitutes over half of the country's GDP. This issue of the Economic Quarterly focuses on collecting more and spending better for inclusive growth. Over the last 15 years, fiscal policy has contributed to Indonesia's economic growth by maintaining macroeconomic stability. However, fiscal policies can play a larger role to ensure sustainable and inclusive growth. Indonesia can reduce inequality by increasing the level and efficiency of expenditures that benefit the bottom 60% of Indonesian families. Most of these expenditures, such as health and education, also address inequality of opportunity and build the foundations for solid growth in the future. To support inclusive growth, Indonesia could spend more effectively in education and spend more in priority areas such as infrastructure, health, and social assistance. Increased spending could be supported by collecting more revenues in an efficient, growth-friendly manner, said Frederico Gilsander, lead economist for the World Bank in Indonesia. The launch of the March 2018 Indonesia Economic Quarterly is part of Voyage to Indonesia, a series of events leading up to the 2018 IMF World Bank annual meetings in Bali. The Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade supports the publication of the report.
Position between Asia and Australia. Indonesia is a G20 member with a GDP of $846 billion, enjoying a 6.5% GDP growth in 2011, ranking it the largest economy in Southeast Asia and the third fastest growing economy in Asia. Construction and mining are the two major sectors contributing to the GDP. The construction sector contributes more than 10% of the GDP, while the mining sector represents nearly 12% of the GDP. Indonesia is politically stable and has a strong investment climate. To sustain the business climate on the long run, the government facilitates a range of fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. In 2011, the government of Indonesia has put forward a master plan for the acceleration and expansion of economic development as an integrated part of the existing national development planning system. This new approach involves the private sector's collaboration with the government, among others in the construction and mining sectors. The government of Indonesia has published a list of infrastructure projects which are ready to offer and get prioritized implementation under public-private partnership schemes. One of the mega projects is the Sunda Strait Bridge, connecting the islands Java and Sumatra. When finished, it will be the longest mid-span bridge in the world. Another mega project is the first Mass Rapid Transport, MRT, which will serve Jakarta's North-South corridor. The mining sector also offers bright prospects. Indonesia is a world-ranked producer of minerals such as coal, tin, nickel and copper. Therefore, a wide range of investment opportunities are available, such as mining infrastructure, mining equipment, underground mining, geological and geophysical surveys, as well as for smelters and refineries. Currently, more than 10,000 mining companies are operating in the archipelago. To promote the smelter and refinery industry, the government implements a mineral beneficiation policy, which requires mining companies to process mining products domestically. This policy is expected to enhance the role of mining in the national economy. Indonesia offers to the business world growth, opportunity, partnership, and shared prosperity.
Kita belum pernah coba. Di sisi lain ada unsur tenaga ahli yang ikut berperan di dalamnya. Kalau sesama anggota militer saya jelas yakin bagaimana kinerja mereka.